welcome to BikesBC. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'm taking the Tiger 900 Rally Pro on a bit of a road adventure. This is the ride that I did when I got my very first motorcycle here in Canada, my first ever road motorcycle. The way that it works here, at least here in Canada, is you get even if you have your full class 5 car driver's license, when you get your motorcycle license, you get what they call an L, which stands for learner. And as an L driver or rider, you have to be supervised by someone with a full class 6, which is what the motorcycle license here is called, if you want to ride. You also can't go on highways. There's like a limit in the speed that you can ride, and there's also a limit on the times. I think you're only technically allowed to ride when it's sunlight. But anyways, I didn't know almost anyone with a full class 6 motorcycle license when I got my class 6 learners, which meant that I really couldn't do much riding. I used to ride up and down my street. I'd set some cones to try some skills, because something else you have to pass here in Canada is a skills test, which basically means just like low speed maneuverability and kind of stuff, which honestly is a pretty good skill to have. Anyways, because I didn't know anyone with a class 6 or barely anyone, I couldn't really ride my bike anywhere. I was locked to my street where I wasn't gonna get pulled over. So there was this one day that a person that was a friend of someone that I would consider an acquaintance reached out, and they were like, hey, would you like to go for a ride? I have my full class 6. And obviously I said yes. That was super exciting, and this is the ride we did that day. Keep in mind, my first ever motorcycle was a Honda CBR 600 RR, so a crotch rocket. Definitely not an off-road bike, so that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect on today's adventure. But yeah, it's just so nice to remember what it was like to ride that day. My very first time taking a motorcycle on an actual road kind of trip. And I thought today, since it's really cold and I have this Tiger, which I love, why not take it on my first ever real motorcycle trip here in Canada, and with it explore why I chose to come back to a Tiger, because this trip talks very specifically about why I chose the Tiger and not something more off-road oriented, again, like going back to an 890 or maybe a Touareg or a Northern 901. The Northern 901 could have been a possibility, to be honest. But anyways, this trip specifically, and being excited about doing this trip, answers the question of why I chose the Tiger 900 Rally Pro pretty closely. So let's go. Truck is loud. Harrison. This thing goes. So pretty. Oh, we're at the train tracks. They're building something here. Fraser. That's gotta be for the train, right? I think they're remaking the bridge for the train. Or is that for cars? Are they making this highway wider? No, I'm thinking that's for cars. That's pretty wide. I don't know. It's cool though. Look at the mountains in the distance. And the police. RCMP. It's 3.5 degrees right now out here. It's a nice warm day, isn't it? Yeah, there's a reason why I'm the only motorcycle out here, at least that I've seen so far. Actually, not true. I saw one other bike. Yeah, it takes really a special kind of person to be out here this type of weather, isn't it? Plus, it's Thursday afternoon. So yeah. Ooh, so nice. So pretty. I found this little road that goes on the side of the highway, and I couldn't stop myself from getting on it. Mucky, eh? Mucky. Maybe I'll get it into an off-roady mode. I can get out of here because it is pretty darn mucky. I was not expecting it to be as mucky as it is. I got off the road for a second back there to get some drone shots. When I tried to get back on it, turned out the nice grass on the side of the road wasn't as nice as I thought. It was super mucky. It was just like a little bump to get back on the road, and it actually took a bit of effort to get the bike back up. And I didn't want to give it too much gas because it's possible that was someone's like farmland, and I don't want to rip it all just getting back on the road. So yeah, I was just trying to be gentle getting back up here. I wasn't expecting it to be that mucky. You can see the whole lake has a nice covering of ice over top. Pretty cool. So nice. At this point, the drone batteries are getting pretty low, and as a result, the drone starts an emergency landing. There's not much I can do. The drone is coming down. However, I can still force it to come closer to me. I am on a pullout on the side of the highway, where it would be safe for the drone to land. Unfortunately, the downward facing sensors on the drone see the concrete barrier next to me, and the drone's collision avoidance system chooses the wrong side of the barrier, forcing the drone into the middle of the highway. And as a result, the drone gets hit by this truck. I thought the drone was dead. I assumed it would bounce off the bumper and then got run over, or it would tumble into pieces. However, to my surprise, when I looked down at my remote, I was getting a live image. My drone somehow was stuck on the front of this truck. So I get on my bike and I chase down that truck, hoping I'll be able to get to it before my drone falls off and gets run over. Eventually, I managed to get in front of it, and I signal the driver to stop. However, I don't think he even realized he hit my drone. He's waving back at me, probably thinking I'm crazy, but making no indications that he plans on stopping. Hoping there will be a stoplight or something ahead, I remain in front for what feels like at least 5 minutes, where I'm just hoping that that drone somehow holds on. Eventually, I see a stop sign. I block the road completely with my bike, and I can see the driver getting angry. He probably thinks I'm just blocking him for no reason. I walk over, grab my drone, and as I'm walking away, I show it to the driver. I can see him laughing, but I have my drone back. And now, as I push my bike out of the way, I'm just relieved. At least I have the footage. But to my surprise, the drone doesn't really look damaged. A closer inspection reveals that one of the propellers has suffered a few scuffs, but other than that, the drone is in really good shape. Could it be that this thing can still fly? There's only one way to find out. It flies. I still can't believe it. Any other vehicle, and that would have looked very different. A regular car would have probably gotten damaged, which would have sucked both for me financially and for the other person, as I would cause stress that they didn't need to suffer that day. Overall, I can't tell you how thankful I am and how lucky I was that the situation went the way it did. However, now let's answer the question I posed at the beginning of the video. Why did I choose the Tiger, and what does this ride have to do with that decision? Well, this is a ride completely on the road, something I've been avoiding due to the 890 and the 500 EXCF being bikes that push me to want to go off-road. The Tiger, on the other hand, just wants to go on an adventure. Doesn't matter where that is, and that is why I chose it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video.